Cyrus, we show you registered as Cyrus Reed on behalf of the Lone Star chapter of the Sierra Club and testifying neutrally. Is that correct?
That is very correct.
The floor is yours.
Thank you very much for the invitation. You're always very gracious, and we do appreciate the way you try to balance the different perspectives. My name is Cyrus Reed. I'm the Legislative and Conservation Director for the Lone Star, the Texas chapter of the Sierra Club. The Sierra Club obviously is a large and old national conservation organization. Where our mission is to explore and protect the planet, but also all the people and beings on it. And I want to talk about both water and air, because both are important, and this committee deals with both. And the previous speaker mentioned, we believe this session there's going to be a significant investment in water supply, but along with water supply comes the need to also look at water quality standards. And if you look at my blue sheet, my water protection standard sheet, you'll note there's a map. This is from TCEQ. We have a lot of impaired water bodies in the state of Texas, and there's a variety of pollutants and issues in those water bodies. TCEQ is, frankly, been understaffed in water, and they're playing catch up on all of those TMDLs processes to try to clean up that water. And so one thing we're appreciative of in a different committee is the request for more staff and monitoring both on water and air. That Representative Wally's subcommittee did approve that exceptional item request number 1. That's very important. But I do want to talk about a couple of issues that will come to this committee. One, Representative, is your own bill, which I believe is HB 2584, dealing with produced water. It's very important that TCEQ has the staff, but also the rulemaking to make sure as we move into treated produced water and land, we have the proper standards in place that can meet those water quality standards, both for groundwater and surface water. So that's going to be important to us. In addition, as we move into desalination, using more and more marine water for our water needs, it's going to be important that TCEQ has the tools they need both for the diversion of water from the bays and estuaries and the discharges to protect those bays and estuaries, because those bays and estuaries have important critters, but they also are important economically to our state in terms of oysters and shrimp and fishing and tourism. So we got to get that balance right, and I know that Representative Morales-Shaw, who's not here, has filed a bill to establish surface water quality standards for salinity in those bays and estuaries. That's going to be important. We had a representative just before us from Texas Chemical Council. I respect Texas Chemical Council, but there are some issues with pre-production plastics, the nurdles, the flakes, all that stuff that gets into our waterways. Representative Zwiener has filed a bill. I believe it probably will come to this committee, so I hope we can discuss those issues with pre-production plastics. Moving on very quickly to air, there are a number, we have made great progress in the state of Texas, there's no doubt, on air quality. That being said, we do have air quality issues. One that's being discussed today is particulate matter, and particularly the particulate matter at 2.5 microns or less. You've got a map here on the second page of this sheet that shows all the potentially affected counties. Dallas and Houston area are some that are affected, as well as Austin and San Antonio, among others. The state of Texas is required to come up with a plan under those new PM 2.5 standards. That standard will be reviewed by the new administration, but as Kelly said this morning, they still have to follow the law that's on the books today. And I guess my basic point to y'all is, whatever the standard is, we want the pollution to be lower. So if we can do things through improved monitoring, more money for TCEQ, but also as we look at the Texas Emission Reduction Plan, making sure as we do new programs, it reduces both NOx and PM 2.5, that's going to help all communities, and we should do that. You had a previous speaker talk about methane. I'm glad the industry is taking it seriously. The reason we care, Representative Anchia, is because it is said by scientists that methane in the first 20 years is 80 times more potent on its effect on climate change than even carbon dioxide. Eventually it goes away, but in the short term, it's really problematic. I'm glad industry is taking steps. We absolutely should not be routinely flaring. A lot of the problems comes with super emitter events. We believe it would make sense for the state to invest some money in methane sensors to find those problems, and not necessarily in a regulatory way, work with industry to fix those leaks when they occur. That would be important. Representative Turner has filed a bill to try to do that, which we think is important. Ozone, I believe you'll have a speaker later. We'll talk about the, how we can expand TERP to better deal with ozone. Hydrogen sulfide. Representative Reynolds, thank you for filing a bill. Yesterday, Senator Alvarado filed it in the Senate. It's important we look at the standard we have. It's 30 to 40 to 50 years old. It's not protecting our communities, and we don't have enough monitoring. It's important. Hydrogen sulfide actually has killed people in your district. It's made people sick. It's killed a few workers. It's killed people in the Houston area. It's affecting people's health. Last issue I'll mention, I know I'm getting short on time. We do have hot spots, particularly in areas like Houston, Dallas, where certain communities are overburdened with pollution, particularly toxics like benzene. There are some bills that have been filed to address benzene and make sure we're looking at those hot spots. I think those are important issues. And so I'll just sort of to sum up, whatever the administration, whether it's Biden or Trump, whether the EPA is doing more regulations or less, we as Texans can come up with solutions that reduce pollution and help our economy, and we should do so whatever the politics of the moment are. And so that would be that, and I pledge that I will work with y'all to do those two things.
Yeah, appreciate that, Dr. Reed. Thank you. Are there members, are there any questions?
And I do want to thank Representative Bell for your work on the Sunset Bill. I appreciated the way we all worked together on that.
Yeah, it was very good. Very good. All right. Thank you for your testimony. Chair calls Michael D. Lozano. Appreciate you being here today. We show you registered as Michael D. Lozano on behalf of the Permian